This is Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom and Chi.
Yep, and the lady who's holding her. Anyways, this is another Cooking with Kenshin1913, and what are we making today?
We're making pierogies with sauerkraut.
And kielbasa.
And kielbasa. Our star ingredients are pierogies. We happen to buy frozen ones. You can use fresh. And I like the potato and onion and the potato and cheddar. I think there's also one that's a 3 cheese.
There's sour cream as well.
So whatever you like. And I mix and match. A can of sauerkraut. And we found out by watching America's Test Kitchen that canned sauerkraut is by far better than any of the fresh package that you'll find like just in the refrigerator section.
Yeah, in the plastic bags, because it actually doesn't get like all like weird flavors and everything.
We have 2 large onions cut up. We have kielbasa. I happen to be using turkey kielbasa, but you can use the regular one. And chicken broth, that we're going to be using some of that. So our onions are cut. We're going to cut our kielbasa. Okay, so I have my kielbasa. Usually I take it and I cut it in half. And then, you don't have to do this, but I just happen to cut it on a bias. I just think it looks pretty.
Yeah, so this is a recipe that we made.
And it's about 1/4 of an inch thick.
Yeah, you want it, with this kielbasa, you want to try to cut up a bunch, because that's some flavor right there. But yeah, this recipe is actually a mismatch of 2 recipes that I've seen that deal with kielbasa and pierogies, and one of them is my sister's recipe about putting them in like a slow cooker, and she uses sour cream or cream cheese or something, and what I took from her recipe is pretty much using chicken broth in her recipe for slow cooked kielbasa and pierogies, and then there's another recipe where you use sauerkraut and onion with the kielbasa, and then you can just make that. And I figured, what the hell, let's throw the pierogies and the chicken broth in. So this is pretty much an amalgam.
And I think we've already done kielbasa, excuse me, onion and potato.
Yeah. But this is a different way to do it. And I know what some people might be thinking, ugh, sauerkraut, I don't really care for it. Well, honestly, I don't really care for sauerkraut either. But in this recipe, to be honest, you don't really get like a super sauerkrauty flavor. So, you know, it's something, it might be this might be one of those recipes where you start with someone who doesn't like sauerkraut and you just kind of give it to them, and then they're like, what's in here? And you're like, sauerkraut. And they're like, oh, it's not as bad as I originally thought it was.
It's kind of like the macaroni and cheese that we had made, and you put cauliflower in it, and one of Peter's friends said, what's this other taste that I'm tasting? It's good, but what is it?
Yeah. And he doesn't like cauliflower, so when I told him it's cauliflower, he's like, you son of a bitch. But he liked it, so I mean, I don't know if he still eats cauliflower, but at least he liked that dish with cauliflower in it.
So we have about 1/8 of a cup of olive oil in the pan. Mm-hmm. And we're going to wait until this gets a little shiny and then add our onions.
Yep, and as all good things start, you have you start with some frying of onions. What do you need, a spoon? So yeah, this is a good recipe to try to get someone to eat sauerkraut. Plus, sauerkraut apparently is pretty good in like probiotics or something with gut health. So there you go.
Okay, so these onions have been cooking for about 2 to 3 minutes, and we want them to get eventually a little bit of brown. So we're going to add the kielbasa in.
Yeah, right now you just kind of want it a little translucent. And yeah, you're adding the kielbasa, and the fat from the kielbasa, depending on what you're using. We're using turkey, so it's not as much fat. But the fat from the kielbasa will also help season the onions as well.
And you don't need a lot of spices in here. Just a little bit of pepper. I don't even put salt because there's salt in the sauerkraut.
Right, yeah. So yeah, we're going to add a little pepper here.
If you like it hot, you can add a little hot pepper.
Crushed red pepper flakes or cayenne. So yeah, we're just going to start cooking this until some of the kielbasa starts browning up.
Okay, so this has been cooking, I want to say maybe about 10 minutes. It's the way we want it. And we're going to add the sauerkraut next.
Yep.
Sauerkraut really doesn't have to cook much. It's just to get nice and warmed up and get that flavor in there.
Yeah. And like I said before, sauerkraut helps the gut. All fermented, what do you call it, Vic? Fermented foods and all that. They help out with your gut, your bacteria. It's good stuff. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of kraut, but in this recipe, it's very good.
Oh, I am a fan of kraut. When I have hot dogs in the summertime, I could eat a whole can just myself.
Yeah, no thanks. But yeah, so we usually don't keep a lot of sauerkraut on hand, but for this recipe, it's good. So yeah, you're gonna get some juice from the sauerkraut that's gonna end up on the bottom, which is fine. And you just want to cook this for like 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, so I just, this has been now in here for about 1.5 minutes, and I put a little extra black pepper on it. And now we're going to add our pierogies. When we were off camera, one of the things I had mentioned is that you probably could do this dish in a casserole in the oven. What I would do is just saute the onions a little bit, mix everything together, and put it in a big casserole dish.
Right. Now the pierogies, you can use either 3 or 4 bags of these. They don't have to be cooked beforehand. If you want, you could, but you don't have to. If you're using fresh, I'm not exactly sure what you would do. Probably just throw them in there after they're cooked. You probably want to part cook them a bit and then throw them in here. But yeah, if you have fresh, you probably will want to do this in a casserole. So what we're going to do is just throw in these pierogies. You can use 3 bags or 4 bags, depending on how many people you got. Obviously, if you have more people coming,
You're going to need a bigger pan.
you need a bigger pan.
Now, a pierogi is a dumpling. Every nationality has their own version. You know, Italian people have raviolis. Chinese people have dumplings in soup. Wonton, yeah. And so everybody has, and that's going to break by itself as it gets warm. So this just happens to be Polish.
Yeah, and they're very good.
Variation.
If you can get fresh pierogies, go right for it because they're terrific. And now at this point, you're going to want to take some chicken stock and throw it in there, about a cup, maybe a cup and a half. But these pierogies are probably going to take 2, since the pierogies are already sort of cooked a little bit. You know, it only takes a few minutes to do.
So this is a 32 ounce chicken stock.
Yeah, you're not
I'm going to put about half of it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put a cover on it, let it steam, and then move them around.
Yeah. And yeah, this will help a little more now. This will help get these to cook. Even though I think they're already sort of cooked. You just need to cook them through.
No, they're really. You could pan fry pierogies.
Yeah. With
or
butter.
you can boil them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a pasta.
Yeah. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to pour the remainder of the chicken broth that we're going to put in, and then we're going to put a cover on it and let it cook for about, this might take 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, until the pierogies are done, because
Yeah.
everything else is done.
Yeah.
Okay, so our mixture has been cooking for about 10 minutes. I'm going to move it around. As you can see, it still has some juice, quite a bit in here. I like it a little drier, and even to get some of the pierogies, maybe to get a little brown on them, so we're going to let some of this juice evaporate, and we're going to leave the cover off. The pierogies are pretty much cooked. You can see they're kind of, you know, floppy.
Yeah, versus they were stiff earlier.
And I'm just trying to make sure that nothing is that they're not stuck together.
Right. Yeah, you
okay.
gotta let this cook until you feel. I mean, you could literally stop right now and eat them as is, but we're gonna keep cooking them a little longer so we can get the liquid a little more absorbed and maybe brown some of the pierogies.
Okay, so as you can see here, we're all done with the liquid. So we're gonna stop it. You could let it keep going a little bit longer, and if you want to brown them, you know, to get a little crusty, but that's up to you. So there's no more liquid, and you have to be very careful if you're going to do that so that they don't burn or break. So we're done. So we're gonna put some on here to plate it.
Yeah, usually we just go family style on this.
Mm-hmm.
And then we plate it.
Yeah, so now we're being a little fancy.
Yeah.
Try to get it so it looks nice.
That looks good. Let's eat it.
Okay. Okay, so here we are.
Here's our pierogies, sauerkraut.
You can see the steam still coming off of it.
And kielbasa. So we have two different types of pierogies. One of them's potato and cheddar, and one of them's potato and onion. That's the onion. But yeah, let's get a little bit of everything now. All together. It's good. You get that nice sweetness from the onion. A little of that, I guess, tangy, you would say.
Yeah, tang. Yeah.
From the kraut. Then you get a little bit of the spice from the kielbasa. It's all good. And then when you're taking it with the good pierogies, it's all good. You know what I mean? So I've been Pete, or Kenshin1913, along with
Mom.
And this has been another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Enjoy and happy eating.